Hello and welcome to another edition of your favourite podcast, Insane in the Membrane.
Insane in the Membrane.
Here we are once again. Welcome back. It's lovely to have you back. I hope you're all doing well. The podcast is getting into its 4th year. Can you believe that? 4 years of this mighty podcast. So we're going to be doing something special to commemorate our 4th year. So watch this space. Keep your eyes peeled for that. I can't believe it's been 4 years. I can't believe it's 4 years ago. I was wandering around Brixton, having just interviewed someone, and then bumped into someone else and saying what I bumped into Phil Wang, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm collecting people for my podcast." And and now 4 years later, here we are. And what a ride it's been. We've had some incredible guests, haven't we? So many incredible guests, in fact. And so many more incredible guests coming up. We've got some good names coming up in future. So, again, watch this space. Got some very interesting people coming up. I love doing it, and as long as you love listening to it, we'll keep doing it. I think that's fair, isn't it? That's fair. Thank you to our lovely patrons for helping us keep this juggernaut on the tracks. It's not right, is it? But yeah, thank you for doing that. Really appreciate that. Thank you for listening, and do us a favour, spread the word. Tell your friends. Listen, if you enjoy it, tell your mates. Send them a link. Get them involved. Tell them old Wilson sent you. That'd be lovely. So, this week on the podcast is Lovdev Barpaga. Now, again, someone I've worked with a few times in the past. Lovely fella, and people always say that we look alike. I say this in the episode. People always sending me photos going, "Oh, I've just seen you in Halifax," and you're like, but yeah, he's a good-looking man, good-looking dude, lovely fella with a very infectious laugh. And it was good to have him on, have a chat. And it's funny, I assumed that he was quite a religious person, but I was completely wrong. And that's nice to have that conversation. We go, oh, I was wrong. And so that we covered that in the episode. We covered all manner of stuff. We talked about all sorts. Towards the end of the episode, we talk about the menopause, and we talk about how those things weren't really explained to us when we were growing up. And so. And there's a really shit joke at the end, but don't be offended. It's a bit of a laugh, all right? It's fine. I've made it more sinister than it is. It was just a throwaway remark. Jesus Christ. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to get on with the episode. So coming up in a minute is Lovdev Barpaga.
A podcast from producer Paul.co.uk.
Insane in the Membrane.
I told everyone, because I'm like, today, because it's our first day back after everything. So I'm running through, like, getting everybody, like, trying to get organised and get things recorded, and sending out the emails and all that. Oh man,
Is it a nightmare? Yeah,
it's one of them, isn't it? Trying to get organised after you've had been on holiday. Yeah, it's fucked, isn't it, mate? I don't know. Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, we do. We actually celebrate Christmas more than any other celebration.
Yeah.
So Christmas is quite big.
Right, yeah.
We have proper Christmas dinner, exchange gifts. Obviously, don't go to church, but...
Nah. I don't think anyone does, do they?
I don't think anyone does, unless it's a wedding or a funeral. Yeah.
So you do say, because that's it, because I don't know, I'm always aware now, because there was obviously growing up, everybody I knew celebrated Christmas, but now, we're a bit more culturally aware. I even at gigs now, and I've got this bit, and I do say it. I'm like, for those of you that celebrate Christmas, which I think is a good thing, just to assume we all celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I mean, one of my neighbours, I sent her a Christmas card, and she was like, "I don't celebrate Christmas," and I was like, "Oh, really?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm a Jehovah's Witness." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yeah, and that's another one. That's because my ex-wife was a Jehovah's Witness when she was growing up, and when she met me, she'd come away from the church, and so it was like a child, like just everything was opened up. It was like Christmas, birthdays, and just, oh my god, this is amazing. And I'm like,
this is what I've been missing out on. Yeah, they don't celebrate anything, I think.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. No.
Yeah, they celebrate being part of their fruity little club. No disrespect.
Right. Let's not talk about religion. Eh?
No. Let's move on, man. I think that's it. I mean, you believe what you believe. It's completely up to you. We said this on a previous episode. It's like I respect anyone who believes anything. Really, it's like, look, they're your beliefs. I mean, sometimes I'm a bit like, yeah, I don't think that's right. But there we are. Flat Earth. We talked about that ages ago, but. You got to respect it, but at the same time, it's when people tell me I'm wrong because I don't believe the same things as them. Yeah, that's when I'm like, what I believe doesn't affect you, and what you believe shouldn't affect me.
That's true.
That's when it becomes an issue when you're telling me I'm wrong.
Yeah, and there's always someone right, and there's always somebody wrong. That's the problem. So I personally, I just stay out of it. I'm not religious at all, so.
Oh, you're not? No.
I'm the same as you, each to your own. If you're happy, carry on.
Yeah.
That's your thing. I respect that.
Yeah, exactly. But I was talking before about how growing up, we were told about, we were talking about this on Ross McGrain's episode. We were saying like, we were brought up to believe in God and things like that. So it's kind of in you. It's got, even though you kind of go, doesn't make sense that's a thing, but it's like I say, it's in you for some reason. You're still aware of it. But were you brought up in a religious family, or?
I was gonna say So I've had quite an interesting life. So obviously my background, my family are Sikhs, right? So we visit Gurdwaras, but we also go to Hindu temples.
Okay.
And when I was a kid, I went to a Catholic school.
Right. Wow.
And my parents, they used to send me to Sunday school.
Yeah. Right.
And I always wondered, why are they sending me to Sunday school? Was so they don't have to look after me and they can work in the shop. That's what I thought. I was really confused, mate. Honestly.
Yeah, of course you must have it from all sides. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Like we used to go for mass on Fridays at school. Every Friday, guaranteed we'll go to church, yeah. So I used to know all the hymns, all the prayers, everything.
Mate.
I even was once in the Christmas choir.
Oh, really?
Church. Yeah.
Blimey. How did that affect you? You must have been, like you say, you must be confused as fuck. You don't know... Well, I mean, all religions seem to be fundamentally the same.
Yeah.
It's only they get manipulated by the people in charge of them all that's when it starts to fuck up. But fundamentally, they all seem pretty much the same.
Yeah, they are the same. And then most of my best mates are Muslims, so there's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you've experienced them all, and you've gone, nah, mate, none of this makes sense.
None of it makes sense. And do you want to know something really interesting? So where we live now, when I used to live with my mum and dad, at the top of their garden, there's a cemetery there, mate.
Yeah, right.
So if you're honest, if you walk to the top of the garden, you can see gravestones, right?
Mate.
And that's a Jewish cemetery.
Really?
Yep.
Mate, you've had it from all sides. Everything.
All of them, man. And then I used to grow up with Rastas. So when I used to live in Handsworth in Birmingham, right, so you had all the Rastafarians as well. So,
mate, you can't avoid it.
I can't avoid it. Nah, you can't. Especially like if you go to India, it's because it's quite a holy place anyway. So you got all types of cultures there.
Yeah.
You'll see a mosque, you see a temple, you'll see a church as well. And
wow,
it's quite nice. Yeah, so I was quite confused growing up as a child.
Yeah. Did you find it easy to kind of like not get involved with it? You kind of went, nah, none of this is for me.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, more or less on that sense. And I learned a lot about other cultures as well.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is the beauty of it. Culture and religion.
Exactly.
That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how it. These people that fight, shout and argue with each other. You go, yeah, but you haven't really looked into any of it. You haven't really experienced any of it. And I think one of the beautiful things that has come out of me being a comedian is that I've been lucky enough to now have experienced different cultures, and I've been able to go to different places and meet different people and get more of an understanding. I think travel is so important.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I love traveling, man. I
Yeah.
do love I went to a place in Turkey quite recently called Cash. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Have
I
you heard
know,
of that?
Yeah.
It's lovely, man. Oh, it's like a hidden gem in Turkey, but not many people
Nice.
know about it.
Yeah, I've heard it. A mate of mine went, years ago.
Yeah. So, I love traveling as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I love gigging. As you know, you're probably the same. I like going to towns or villages you've never heard of,
Yeah.
and you
I love
go
it.
there and you're like, "Oh, this is lovely. This is."
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I mean?
beautiful. When that's the one thing I love is I've been able to see different people from different places, and because before I started out, I always believed that there was that north-south divide and all that bullshit. But now I've been out and about in the world. You go, no, everyone's pretty much the same. We're all a bit fucked. Everyone just if people are at a gig, they want to be entertained, so entertain them.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not going to judge. Some people do. They get pissed up and they judge you a bit, but that's very few and far between. Most people are pretty sound. You get your dickhead.
Oh, there's always one, isn't there?
But I always people go. I see these videos of like comedian destroyed heckler.
Yeah.
I don't really do it because if someone heckles me, I'm like, all right, come on in. What's happened? What's going on? What? I start to like counsel them. Like, what's going on in your life?
Is that what you do on stage?
It's that, or if I'm not in the mood, I'll just say, "Shut up, you fucking coward! You haven't got the bollocks to come and do this. So you shouting from the shadows. Fuck you." Depends what mood I'm in.
Depends on what type of gig it is.
Depends on what type of gig. Depends on what type of mood I'm in. Depends if I've eaten. No, fucking corporate. Corporate's just I just laugh if I'm bombing at a corporate. I just laugh. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to do.
That's what I'm like on any stage I get on.
Just like, what do you want me to do?
This is it. This is what you're gonna get for the next 18 minutes. That's what I'll say.
Wow, you're 2 minutes in and it's already fucked.
Like you said, you got to just enjoy yourself, ain't you, on stage?
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So I moved that was another reason why I was surrounded by different types of people. Because I moved in quite a lot of different areas growing up. Yeah. So started off in the ghetto. Then I went to a white ghetto. And then I went back to the ghetto, original ghetto. And now I live in a predominantly white area, which is nice. It's how I like it.
Mate, the way things are going, we'll all be living in a ghetto soon. It's all
it's
fucked.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I've stopped looking at the news, and every time I look, I get more. I'm like, this is why I stopped looking at it.
You get more wound up.
Yeah. Because at the minute they're talking about rather than addressing the fact that people aren't being paid enough. It's not that they're not earning enough. People aren't being paid enough for the work that they're doing.
Absolutely.
Employers are getting away with fucking murder, and they should be paying people decent money for a decent day's work, but they're not. And instead of addressing that, the government now talking about bringing in laws to stop striking. And you're like,
they don't get it, do
pay
they?
people. No, pay people. We're not up because they don't want you to rock the boat, do they? They want you to be fucking subservient. And
mate, I was working. I don't know if you know, but I was working on New Year's Day. So I work in mental health.
Oh right, okay.
I work in hospitals and stuff, and I was working on New Year's Day. And on that day, we had to take a patient to the local general hospital.
Yeah,
and they picked us up in the ambulance, and there was a queue waiting to go in.
Wow.
And I was like, and they said, this is normal. We pick somebody up, we wait hours in the ambulance, and then they've got to wait even longer. And in the hospital, there was like people in beds, just in corridors.
Mate.
I was like, Happy New Year.
Yeah. See, stuff like that, innit? And they go,
had it.
Mate. Well, there's supposed to be 40 new hospitals or something built, weren't there? And they never got round to that. And then they never... they won't invest. It's just, I know a lot of money goes into the NHS. I know people work in there, but it's not enough, and they don't want to invest it because they want us all to be paying for our health service. That's what they want. Yeah. And you go, but that's just going to kill more people. And then because there's going to be people that just can't afford it. The bills that you see in America, the bills that you see, like if you're in an accident and it costs you $100,000 to get sorted out, and you're just like, how is anyone gonna? No one can afford that.
That's mental. That is.
Yeah. And it's like it's shit like that, and this is why I don't look at it, because it just depresses the fuck out of me. You know,
it's very depressing, mate. Look, I'll be honest. I work for an agency now, and I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot. But what I get paid, I get more money than the NHS staff, but I'm doing the same job as them. And I think,
mad, isn't it?
If the NHS just paid us all equally, I would have never left. You know what I mean? I would have just carried on doing my NHS work, and I would have been happy with that. And I don't blame people striking.
No,
really don't. People say we've got the hardest job. We ain't got the hardest job as a comedian. No. Yeah, you need jokes to be funny, but try being a nurse. You know what I mean? Under pressure.
Yeah. On New Year's Day, and there's a queue of ambulances,
like a taxi stand, man.
Yeah,
it's like a black. That's how I pictured it. You know, just a load of ambulances waiting for their passengers.
Jesus Christ!
In the other way of dropping them off.
Yeah. And then you've got Matt Stellingworth was on quite a few episodes ago, but he was the first person that told me that you have to pay to become a nurse. Like, you have to pay for the training.
You have to go through degree as like a normal degree, and then they have to pay for their PIN every year. It's a couple £100. So every year they have to renew it, their PIN, nursing
Fuck's
PIN.
sake.
And that's always on the line, you know. I know nurses have lost it for silly little errors, you know. Little slap on the wrist would have been fine, but no, they lose their PIN. And if they want to be a nurse again, they have to do the whole 3 or 4 year course.
And this is why people they can't do it, because they can't afford it. Even down to parking at hospitals.
Mate, don't even start me on that one.
Fucking hell. Because they've now privatised that. That goes off to private companies.
Oh, yeah.
And the private companies don't give a shit. They're just some like mad clamping firm that are going to just rinse everybody. And nurses should just get free parking. They should just get free parking. I don't know why that's an argument.
I think the problem is the space.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So, I mean, I got a ticket the other day. So I work in loads of different hospitals. So I was in Worcester, and I got back to my car. No, they're redoing the hospital anyway. And so I parked somewhere, and the bloke was like, yeah, you can park there, mate. A couple of days later, I got a letter. Illegal parking, £15 fine. And I was like, what? So I sent in an appeal, said, look, I was one of the staff working on the wards. And they were like you said, they're not bothered. They don't care.
No.
You still paying? I was like,
fuck.
And it was a private company. But a load of staff said to me, you should have left it. Just ignore the letter.
Yeah, there's an element of that. It's not legal. Like, they can't legally ask you for money. It's not because
it's an invoice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a government recognised thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, parking is a big issue. I do agree, staff shouldn't be paying to park.
No, man. That's
in an
the
hospital.
Thing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they can afford a car to get there in the first place, you know, that's just... and because it's not even like a reasonable amount. It's not like £1 an hour.
Yeah.
It's like 2, 3, 4 quid an hour. You're like, how does anyone... I can't afford that.
20 quid for the whole day.
Mentalness. That's insane.
It's cheaper to get a cab.
So you're in mental health?
Yeah, I work in mental health.
That's what you do. And what do you do?
So I'm a support worker. So frontline staff, work alongside the nurses. We just basically monitor them, support them and stuff, check on them if they're all right, feed them, and they all vary. So I work in all sorts. So I work from adolescents to forensics, which is really interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, all the murderers, mate.
So
I don't know why I'm laughing.
No, dealing with people that have murdered.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, people that have murdered. You name it, they've done it in forensics.
Really?
Yeah, we've got all sorts. But it's quite interesting, you know, because you'll meet... I mean, I shouldn't really be saying this, but you'll meet someone, a patient, and you'll go, oh, he's dead nice, isn't he, that John? And then the staff would go, "Are you sure? Have you read his file?" "No, what's he done?" "He murdered his dad and mum." I was like, "Really?"
Oh wow!
All right. He seems like
Had no
such
idea.
a lovely bloke. Yeah, it's
Insane.
Yeah, it's totally.
Isn't it funny though? Because I've seen, as we all have, we watched the documentaries and we've watched the interviews and stuff, and you just watching these people and you're like, wow, I'd have a pint with you. You seem. But then you go, oh yeah, he murdered an entire village, and you go, what? Why did he do that? Because he just got up one day and he just felt like it.
But I feel like a lot of it is background, you know, because
Really?
they're all quite similar. Yeah, so it's how that, you know, the whole social thing, how you've been brought up, what your parents are like with you, you know, what kind of household did you come from? Were they abused when they were younger? There's a lot of that history, and then there's always the mental health side to it as well. So, like, you know, one of the parents possibly had an illness that obviously wasn't diagnosed. Not all of them, but you see a pattern.
Yeah.
That's why I love watching Britain's Most Evil Killers. You seen that?
No.
I think it's on Sky. I love watching that. So you look, basically go through the history. They start from when they're young, how they were brought up, you know, and what challenges or traumas they had in their life, and then you think, oh, okay, I understand now why they are in that way. A bit like the Jeffrey Dahmer story, you know. You've seen that, and the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix. So yeah, it's very similar, you know. Like his dad used to show him, this is how you cut up an animal. It affects your head.
And with all these things, like dealing with these people, does that affect your head? Like you go out, are you able to sort of switch it off when you leave? Because I know when I worked in an old people's home, and I found it really difficult sometimes.
Oh, so you've done similar work then?
Yeah, I've done care work in old people's homes, and I used to just. I felt so. It's got to the point now. I don't ever want to be in a care home. I can't, because you're just left. Yeah. And no disrespect, it's not the people. It's just that, you know, all your friends have died. Your family can't deal with it because, you know, you need care, and you're just in the care home. And I'm like, I don't want it. I can't have it. It used to bother me.
Yeah, no, it does bother me. I mean, I work in dementia a lot as well. Dementia's hard, man. You know, some of them are quite funny, but then they're not well, and you think, I really hope I don't get to that stage. I said to my wife once, I come back from work, I said to her, if I ever get dementia, shoot me. I said, I don't want that on you.
No, mate. Well, that's it. I think about that all the time. Is that old Dave Allen gag about people say that, they go, oh, I don't want to get to that point, someone wiping my ass. I would rather shoot myself if I ever got to that point. And then he says, when they get to that point, he goes, but then they know they want to kill someone, but they can't remember who it is.
That's a great joke. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, Dave Allen. But I've said that. I did say that the other day. I'm like, look, if that starts to happen, I'm just going to walk into the sea. Because I don't want to be a burden on anyone. But then at the same time, you got that sadness of like you've offed yourself, and all your loved ones
have to.
It's
suffer.
a tricky one, man. Yeah, they have to suffer either way.
True. It is tricky, man. But I'll tell you what. I've done that it's the longest job I've ever done. I've done loads of other stuff, but I found that it does help towards the comedy.
Yeah, so, right. Okay.
Like how I say things, how I present it, the speech, you know, if you can hear me, the empathy, sympathy, all that, it all adds without me even knowing that. The communication bit, basically.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, this is the thing, and this is why comedy's so great, because it does help you deal with some severe shit in the world. You know, it really helps you get your head around some stuff.
That's right. I feel. Yeah. And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know, these people could be suffering, or they know someone is suffering, and they've just come out to get away from that. Yeah. So that's always in the back of my head. And I used to say this bit at the end of my set. I used to go, you know, hope you all had fun. Just want you all to stay happy no matter what you go through in life. Keep smiling. I used to say that. I don't really say it as much. And that's all, probably only because I've had a hard day at work.
Yeah, fuck them.
Like you say, do I take it home? I try not to take work home.
No.
There've been occasions where I've thought about stuff. You know, like when you think of someone, you think, I wonder how they're doing, or why did that person do that to themselves?
Yeah.
You know, it's hard, but yeah, I try and leave it. When I leave work, that's it. I leave it.
Yeah. Right.
But,
okay.
Yeah, unless
But there's
something's
yeah.
happened.
There's a difference. Like, it's like someone that's killed someone, but because that person was like tormenting them or making their life a living hell. There's that side of it as well. And I feel for those people because you're like, you just got pushed into a corner.
That's
where
right.
you just
you
had
lost
no
control.
choice.
Just, in that instant, you didn't know what you were doing.
No, because you've just been through shit with this person for so long.
Yeah, and that does happen. And then you feel sorry for them, and then, they're stuck in the system for years as well.
Really?
Yeah, people in, like, forensics. And mental health is very interesting, because you always get the same patient, even the ones in the community. They'll come in for a bit, they'll be unwell, we'll sort them out, they'll go back out, and then you'll see them again after, like, a couple of months.
Yeah.
They come back in with the same issues.
Fuck.
And it's just like a revolving door. And a lot of them stay in the system.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that don't want to leave, mate.
Oh, really?
They get fed. They got a bed.
Yeah.
They got no bills. They haven't really got any family. So they just think, hey, I'll just stay here for a bit.
Yeah. Well, it's like that Charles Bronson, that prisoner. Him. He just got to the point, he's just like, no, I'm just better off in here. And yeah, I do know someone else. If someone was telling me a couple of years ago they'd gone to prison, and they said, there was a moment where you're like, I didn't have to think or worry about anything. I felt bad about what I'd done. I think he was in there for fraud or whatever it was, but he just said, he didn't have to worry about his meals and his bills, and he just had to. He got to bed at a reasonable time. He was up in the morning, bit of exercise, bit of chat. I'm like, fucking hell, you must have gone to a nice prison, because I know other people just live in nightmare.
They got a gym and everything.
Yeah. PlayStation.
Some of them
You sure you weren't just in a travel lodge?
Some of them average. Yeah.
Mate, that was another fear. I've got a few weird fears. I used to worry I was going to end up in prison. I don't know why.
I think I have that,
Yeah, I don't know if it was just growing up with people that ended up in prison. I don't know.
Do you know what? No, it could be. It could.
Yeah.
I've got loads of mates who were close to me and got into the wrong crowds, should we say?
Yeah.
Either end up doing dodgy stuff, or getting locked up themselves, and you think, I don't really want to be like them, and I've kind of distanced myself away from them.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to, innit?
Yeah, man, you have to. That's the thing. I knew some people before, and I did actually. Fair play to. I've said this before. I needed some money and I needed a bit of work, and I said, "Oh, you got any like driving work or anything like that?" And he went, "It's not for you, mate. It ain't for you. You ain't getting a job in this." And I'll never forget him for that. He went, because he could have been a prick and gone, "Yeah, mate, take this box to wherever."
Yeah. And
you end up getting banged up for 20 years because you didn't know what was in the box. So, I'm pleased for that. But yeah, I always had this fear that I was going to end up in prison. And then I had this fear that I was going to be homeless. I still think about that at one point I'm going to be homeless. I'm always looking at places to, like, you could build a little thing in there. You could put some boxes in it.
To put a sleeping bed.
Yeah. There's always that. You just get a bit of wood. You can make a little den.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I don't know why. Weird.
It's something good to think about, because like, not that you're going to end up in that situation.
No.
Hopefully not. The way the energy prices are going up,
we're all going to end up living together in a shed.
We'll all be sleeping in the park.
Yeah.
I do think about. I don't know what. Like, are you in London? Are you?
No, I'm in Brighton now. But yeah, I was in London. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Might be similar to Birmingham. So in Birmingham, I don't know what it is now, but every traffic light has a beggar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you guys have that in Brighton?
Yeah, oh god, yeah. There's a
Yeah.
street because where we live, it's quite a nice little area. But if you go down onto the main like high street bit,
Yeah.
that it runs along from Brighton to Hove, that's where there's a lot of homeless people along there. But then someone was telling me the other day that they were going, oh no, there's places that they go and get food, and they've got places because they disappear at night, so they've got places to go. They've all got but in the day they're just sitting around and they're begging and things like that. And
Yeah.
there's a big drug problem in Brighton.
I think that's the same in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we've got loads every traffic light. There's a dude there with a cup in his hand.
Oh really?
Yeah, you give him money, he drives to the next set of lights. There's another one.
No, but maybe that's what it
When's
was.
this
He went
gonna
out. I think that's what it was. He just went out to get the papers, and he's ended up skint, and now he's had to collect some money to get home because he gave it all away.
We used to get the ones that clean the windows.
Oh man,
Mate,
that
they've
dirty water,
disappeared.
yeah. They have disappeared. Yeah,
I don't know where they've gone. I'm like, where are they? They must have made some dough, man. Not to come back.
Yeah, that was huge at one point. Wash your
Massive.
windows.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was always like, no, mate. I'd rather pay you £1 not to wash the windows. That dirty water.
I saw one with an iPhone the once.
Oh yeah.
On the iPhone and cleaning my window at the same time.
Mate. See, there's a bit of that as well. I know there are some people. There was a woman at Christmas, and her name was Kathleen. She was Irish,
Yeah.
and she was. We had a big chat, and she said, "Can you buy me some clothes?" I can't buy you. I haven't got enough money to buy you clothes, but I could buy you something. I'll buy you something. We'll go to the shop. And we were walking along, and I was looking at her, and I'm like, I don't know, something. There was obviously. She was too clean. Like her clothes were ripped, but they were clean. I was like, and I looked at her trainers and I'm like, they're fucking spinning me a yarn here, mate. They're 120 quid. Nice lady. I gave her some money. I went, whatever's going on, I don't know, but look after yourself because it's not nice out here. But I'm like, they're 120 quid, like Nike TNs, whatever they are. I'm like, I ain't got a pair of them.
That exact thing's happened to me when I was in Turkey.
Yeah.
These 3 girls come up to me and they were like, "Brother, I'm from Syria. I need the money." And I was like, I looked at them. They all had Louis Vuitton gear on.
What do you need money for? Like to get a cab somewhere?
I was like, "You got Louis Vuitton? I can't afford that." Then they ran off.
Yeah, this is it. There are people. I get it. There are people that need it.
Yeah.
But there are other people. There's so many people working a scam. When I was in Paris and we were walking, when you go up by the Eiffel Tower, there's loads of people there. What they do, they come up and say, "Oh, I'm raising money." They want you to sponsor, like a sponsorship form.
Yeah.
And they come up and they go, "Oh, sign this, and I want to get, so you can give me whatever it is,
A direct debit.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then this young girl, she did it, and she just went, I went, look, I said, I don't have any money, I'm broke. And she went, no, you are rich. Look where you are standing. And I'm like, I'm not even.
Rich. I'm Rich Wilson.
I'm like, yeah. Fucking right, I am. But I'm not even going up the Eiffel Tower. I can't afford it. It's like €60, whatever it is. I'm going up it. I'll just have a look at the bottom of it.
Just imagine it how it would
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll just go up high somewhere other place in Paris. But it's difficult because I want to help people, but at the same time, like, I don't know who the scammers are and who the legit people are. You know, there shouldn't be anyone. There shouldn't be anyone out on the street.
Yeah, true.
You know, but that bothers me. There has been a couple of people. Oh, there was one. I don't know. I've probably said this on here before. When I used to do jonglers in Camden, and I remember turning up, and I walked around the corner. This fella just covered in blood down his face, and he's like, "Oh, mate," he goes, "I need some money for the cab. Get to hospital." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I have some cab money, mate." Hey, I walked in, and the doorman went, "Did you just give money to a fella with blood on his face?" I went, yeah, I did it. I said, he's a bit mashed up. He went, "Yeah, he chucks himself down the steps on the lock." And then he walks up to people. No, yeah, he goes, "Yeah, he does it all the time." I'm like, for fuck's sake. He goes, "Yeah," he goes, "Everyone gets caught once." Don't worry. But what are you supposed to do if someone's covered in blood?
At least he put the effort in, though, innit?
Imagine, I'm not going to wipe it off his face to see if it's real. Like, lick it. That's jam, that's jam.
That's what I thought he was going to say. That's commitment, that is.
Yeah, he'd fling himself down the steps by the lock on the thing, and then he'd walk around going, needs money for the cab. Like, fucking hell, mate.
I remember in Houston Station, after a gig, I was heading back to Birmingham. There's a guy with 2 suitcases, and he was begging me for money. He said he's missed the train. He needs money for a coach.
Yeah, right.
And I was thinking, I didn't give him any money. I was thinking, I bet that suitcase is full of money.
yeah.
That old scam, eh?
Making an absolute fortune. There was the opposite. There was another one. There was an opposite one. I was out with Michael Smiley years ago when he was a comedian. He's a world class actor now. But we were out around by Carnaby Street, and this fella in a suit was talking to this girl, and he was going like, "Oh, I need to get to my interview, but I haven't got money. I haven't got this." He was saying, "What is the interview? It was something or other." It wasn't an interview. It was something to do with his job. And I looked at him. We both looked at this guy's suit. And we're going, he don't wear that suit. That's just a suit he's flung on. His shoes are fucking terrible. They're shit. It wasn't even dirty. It was just like, it's just shit. And it didn't match up.
Just a match, yeah.
Whatever he was saying didn't make sense. And we both went up and went, the girl went, don't give him any money. I don't know what he's up to. What are you up to, mate? And he just ran off. So there's that, I don't know. There's so many scams, man.
I can see it getting worse now, though. As times people are doing, other stuff to try and get.
They're doing silly things, mate. Yeah. Well, on the other side of it as well, again in London, there was the Harry Krishna fella, and they come up and they shove a book in your hand, and they go, "Oh, this is for you." You go, "What is it?" And they go, "It's out. It's this. It's a good book. I think it will help your life. You don't have to buy it. It's a book. It's for you." I'm like, "Oh, thanks very much." But we do take donations, right? I'm like, right. So you don't want me to buy it, but you want me to give you money because you've given me the book. And he went, yeah, I'm like, mate. And then he went, and I looked in my wallet, and there was a £5 and there was a tenner, and he went, "Oh, the brown ones are really nice." And are they? Are they? Have your book back, mate. Have your book back. See, everyone's scamming.
I had a dude who said to me, because I said I ain't got no change. He went, "I'll take you to the nearest ATM machine."
Mate. Thanks for that.
I was like, I'm going in the opposite direction.
Yeah. I want to help you, but come on, man.
Come to the cash machine with me.
Oh, that's a good one. When they go, "Oh, there's a cash point over there." Is there? All right.
It's funny.
Oh, there was one. I had one. There was a girl, Leicester Square. It was pissing down with rain. I was a bit pissed, and she didn't have any shoes on. And I'm like, "Mate, you ain't got any shoes on. You can't have any. You got to get some shoes. Let's go and buy you a pair of shoes." And I went to go to the shop. She's like, No. It's all right. It's all right. I went, "It's pissing down with rain. You haven't got any shoes on. You got to have some shoes. Let's go to the shop, get you some shoes." She went, No. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just have the money for the shoes. And I went, "Oh, you've got your fucking shoes hidden. You've hidden them somewhere in your fucking purse."
He's got a pair of slippers on him.
Yeah. Cheeky bastards. I want to help. I do want to help. And I do. I'm always giving money to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you donate to a monthly charity or anything?
No, I used to. And then I couldn't afford it anymore. But yeah, I used to. I have done. And I want to, I mean, even that, I'm like, I want, you hear about, you go, yeah, I want to donate to charity, but then half the money doesn't get to the people.
Yeah.
It all gets lost in admin and where, the person that runs the charity is on like 6 figures. And you're just
make
like,
sense, does it?
No.
You're right. Always think if you do good in life, in karma, it always comes back to you in a different way.
So?
Yeah. I hope it does. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to stop my job.
I want to believe in karma, but there's been some people in my life that I'm like, you don't deserve anything that you've got. I know you're a shit person. Yeah, there you are, lording it over everyone. I'm like, yeah, karma's bullshit.
That's funny.
Are you? Do you believe in karma? I do. Do you know what? Again, that depends on whether I've eaten or not. I'm in a good mood.
I do. I think I don't know what karma is, but I think if you do something bad, it will come back to you without you even knowing.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah.
That negative energy will ping off into the world.
It's the energy, innit? That's it. You got it.
Energy.
Absolutely.
I think it is. It is that if you, it's gonna come back. It'll ricochet off and come back. That's why it's really important to try and hang on to the good stuff in the world. Like in this episode, we've talked about, people struggling to make a living, and they're bringing in laws to ban striking and all that sort of thing. I think it's important, and I say this to remind myself more than anything. It's important to try and focus on the good shit as well. There is good shit in the world. There are good people in the world, and you just got to try and be the best person you can be. I think
you got to do good to others.
Yeah. Do you manage that though? Do you manage it? You seem like you don't. I don't imagine you've fucked over too many people. You always seem pretty chill. You probably fucked up you've made mistakes, I imagine. But
we've all made mistakes, haven't we?
Yeah.
No, I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask my patience.
You go, I wasn't in here until he come along.
He's the one that put me in here.
Yeah,
it was all your fault. It was all your. I'm getting a lot of that quite recently. I don't know what it. I'm like, hey. I think obviously they are unwell, but they'll blame me.
Really?
I think it's the face. I get confused a lot for being a doctor.
Yeah.
Hello,
right.
Like the elderly lot. Hello, doctor. And then I'll just put on an Indian accent. Hello, how are you? How are you doing today?
doing the head wobble as well.
I hope you're taking your medication. And they're like, yeah, doctor, I have taken it.
I'll tell you what, we're definitely putting the video out for this because we need people to see what you look like. I don't want people to think. So I've already said you look like me. I don't want people to think it's me.
Hello, Rich Wilson.
That's it, yeah, racist.
I should have just got a beanie hat like you. They'll never know then.
They'll never know.
They'll be confused.
But have you got like a good set of mates you can sort of hang out with, and your partner and?
I have got a good set of mates. Do you know what? I haven't seen them for ages. No, I've gave up booze. Well, I had a break from booze, but it's been 12 months now.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
I know, yeah. All my mates, they all drink.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them for a year.
Do you think that's what it was keeping you, like, it was always like going to the pub or going wherever?
I think when we used to meet up, we used to drink, that was like the meet. Like, none of us will go, do you fancy going for a bit of golf or, you know what I mean? A game of snooker or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen now. It's always, do you fancy a drink? Should we go out for some food and, get pissed?
Do you know what? Yeah, especially Christmas, having Christmas just not long gone. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of like, let's go and have a pint. Let's go and have a pint. And I don't know what's happened lately. My tolerance for booze has gone. I'm too good at it now. I'm like, I'll have like 3 or 4 pints, and all of a sudden I'm like, fucked. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it, without even thinking about it. So. Yeah, I've had to kind of curtail it a little bit.
I just had my daughter come up to the window then.
So
she walked back from school. Yeah. She's like,
you got to let her in.
No. Wow, I've left the door open. And she's looking in the window like this, like, who's dad talking to? Hang on, is that him? There's 2 of them on the screen.
He's talking to himself.
Have you got kids, Rich?
Yeah, but mine are older now. Mine are 25 and 30. Yeah.
Bloody hell, mate.
So I saw them, and I saw at Christmas, and they're good boys. They're good lads.
Yeah.
They're figuring it out, and they just see it. I've said it before, but they just go, well, Dad just needs a little bit of looking after now and again. So it's changed.
Your next podcast will be in old folks' home, innit?
This is it. Yeah. Interviewing all the old bods.
Interviewing the old bods. They got some great stories, mate.
Thing is, right? Someone said to me recently they did a gig in an old people's home.
Yeah.
And they were what's that? Because this assumption that all old people were around during the war, so all they like is all the old war stuff, all the old war songs. You're like, no, you look at it now. They were probably around. They were probably, they were young in the 60s, the 50s, the late 50s, early 60s. So their musical tastes aren't going to be Vera Lynn.
That's
and
right.
all that bollocks. It's going to be some cool
Beatles
shit. You got
all that.
you got to learn some fucking Rolling Stones, mate.
Yeah, it's true. That is,
Yeah, and then our generation, when we're in the old people's homes, it'll be rave and all that. Sort of
Grime.
Yeah. Drill.
Stormzy. Drill.
Getting someone coming in, load of roadmen. Get a load of old roadmen coming in, singing the songs.
That's funny.
Oh, mate, but that's how it'll be. All right, I quite like where I'm at now. I'm not old, but I'm not young, and I have
You don't look old, mate.
No, I don't feel it, to be honest.
No, that's good. That's the main thing, man.
Yeah, and I'm still running around. This is interesting, actually, because Kate and I were sat the other day, my wife, and we were talking about that. And we were saying, like, there are people we know that already go, well, I'm 45, I can't be doing that. They're already talking like they're done. And you're just like, no. The day that you go, I'm old, is the day that you start to become old.
True. Can you say that to my wife? She says it to me all the time.
Really?
Oh, I feel old now. I'm like, you're only 40. She's 45. I'm like, you're only
Mate.
45.
Yeah, that's
Wait
nothing.
until you're 70. You're not old yet. I am. I can feel it.
Mate, yeah, that's
I can
nothing.
feel it in my body.
Stop eating sugar.
Mate, that's spot on. That's her, that is.
Stop
Chocolate.
eating sweets. Yeah.
She
You've got to
loves
pack all that
chocolate.
in. Well, don't
Yeah.
pack it in, but cut it down.
Cut it down. I've told her that.
Does
I said that funny enough. I said that's your resolution for this year. Is to cut down on your chocolate and your sweets.
Yeah.
No, I need it. You don't know what we go through as women.
Oh, yeah.
Menopause.
Oh, yeah, you got... Oh, mate, yeah.
She's saying all that.
Mate, I do feel... That's the thing. Having done this podcast for a while, getting to have a chat with women about what women actually go through, like with periods and the menopause and all that, which is a conversation that we never had growing up. No one ever really sat me down.
Yeah, true.
First time I became aware of it was my mum, when my mum had a hysterectomy because it was, she had it all cut out. And I remember her crying in the kitchen, and that
My mum's had that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that must be like when they go, you're going to have an operation where we just take it all away. And then that's it.
That's right.
That's all done. And you're like, fuck, man.
It's true, that is. Growing up, we don't get told about that.
No.
Nah.
No.
I didn't know it. I didn't.
No.
I didn't know.
I'd heard of it, but I just thought it was something that the teachers
Like a
were
myth.
going through. Yeah. Really?
Doesn't happen to all women.
It's like Father Christmas and...
That's why he's red. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
We'll
mate.
stop it there.
Fucking hell. And on that note, mate, fucking hell. To any of our women listeners, listen, we're only messing around. We know I can't imagine what it must be like to have to go through that shit. So, listen, this has been great, mate. Thanks for joining us.
It's been great. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Oh, our pleasure, man. And hopefully, you won't have to deal with anything too severe going forward. And well done for doing what you do, man, because people need
man.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Rich.
Where can we find you on the... good to see you. Where can we find you on the socials, man?
So, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I've got a new Instagram account.
Why? What happened to the old one?
It got hacked, mate.
Oh, no.
So my Facebook got hacked.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody put up these ISIS photos on my profile.
What?
Yeah, I shouldn't have tagged myself in them.
For fuck's sake. Is that what it was? They went, are you in here? You went, yeah.
Photos of us at it, paintballing.
I remember that. I remember that holiday.
I remember that stag do.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I must be in there somewhere. Yeah, tag.
So, I had to create a new one anyway. So my Instagram is Lovdev Barpaga comedian.
Yeah.
So I've had to add the comedian to make a new one.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, at least you're not... Yeah. Yeah, fucking hell. But it's been lovely having you on, mate. It's been lovely.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Insane in the membrane.